The war in eastern Ukraine has slipped out of much of the world's consciousness, but General Stepan Poltorak tells VOA the threat remains big, and his forces are preparing for an offensive from Russia at any time.
The Russian Federation has supplied really a lot of military equipment to the territory of Donetsk and Luhansk region. Just imagine they have about 1,000 pieces of artillery and they have about 600 main battle tanks. I think this is enough to equip the army of a small European country.
At the start of the war in 2014, it was easy for Russian forces to overrun parts of eastern Ukraine.
In fact, in the very beginning of this conflict, we had quite a terrible situation within the armed force of Ukraine. The only truly combat-worthy units were about 5,000 to 5,000 only. The situation was that the previous leadership of the Ministry of Defence did whatever it was, only what was possible to do, in order to ruin the Ministry of Defence. But we've managed to do much. We've managed to change much with the assistance we have received.
Poltorak says Ukraine is grateful for the $265 million in non-lethal assistance, mainly training, from the U.S. Aid, he says, has helped his military prevent Russian-backed separatists from taking any more territory. Anti-corruption reforms continue. But he said Ukraine still needs anti-tank weapons and air defense systems to hold Russia back, while Ukrainian forces modernize.
And I would like to emphasize the fact that we are asking for this lethal assistance not to start any offensive operations, but to conduct defensive operations, to protect our territorial integrity and sovereignty of our country, to protect our democratic values.
The United States is unwilling to provide lethal assistance, in part because it wants to avoid a confrontation with Russia. The only solution to this conflict, Washington has said from the very start, is non-military. The longer-term goal of the West is to provide training assistance to eventually make Ukrainian forces interoperable with NATO. The Ukrainian defense minister says the path his country is on is a long one. Luis Ramirez, VOA News, Kiev.